garbage collector?
I never collected garbage. I disposed of it.
Now the story begins, please stay till the end. Amongst the crowded city Nanjing in China, resides a young genius named Mei. Mei is a gifted prodigy excellent in mathematics, and she possesses the ability to memorize and unbox complex mathematical problems effortlessly, without the use of any device. Her exceptional memory allows her to retain any form of numbers she encounters. One fateful noon, Mei and her friends are on their way home when some hefty triad gangsters abducts her, leading her to a notorious Chinese mafia leader named Han Zhao. Han, aware of the traceability of his criminal activities' digital data, sees Mei as a potential asset, a human computer who can memorize crucial informations and data for him. She initially was reluctant, but succumbs to cooperation when faced with terrible threat of harm to her parents. Under the watchful eyes of Chang, a trusted high-profile member of the gang, Mei is transported to New York, where she assumes the role of Chang's daughter to conceal her true identity. At the same time in New Jersey, Luke, a former cop and a cage fighter, engages in a hyped match by bookmakers which he is meant to lose. However, in an unforeseen turn, he accidentally knocks out his opponent, sending him into a coma. This unexpected victory enrages Emil, the head of the Russian mafia, who suffered notable financial losses due to Luke's win. Luke, realizing the disaster this places his family in, anticipates the fury of an infuriated gangster. Rushing home as fast as he can, Luke is unfortunately too late. The son of the Russian mafia, Vasily, has already taken the life of his pregnant wife. In a despondent state, Luke, despite his fighting abilities, refrains from retaliation. The gangsters issued a black warning, threatening to kill anyone Luke associates with or talks to. In a devastating state, Luke returned to his hometown, New York, exhibiting a life of homelessness and wandering the streets of Manhattan. A year later, Mei, still maintaining entanglement with the gang and working hand in hand with Chang. During their weekly rounds in Chinatown, Mei was asked to calculate the net profit or loss percentage of each store, which is a vital metric used by the gang to determine the amount owed by store owners. Mei becomes a very important asset to the gangs, showing her astuteness in the complex workings of the dark underworld. Meanwhile, Luke lives in a tattered home shelter. One night, he came in encounter with a man with severe infected feet and no shoes. Feeling empathy, Luke rendered him his own shoes. However, the next morning came with a grim revelation. Someone has violently attacked and killed the unfortunate man, stealing Luke's shoe from him overnight. This left Luke in a gruesome state, reflecting to the harsh condition of his homelessness. Amongst Mei's entanglement with the gang under the leadership of Chang, a woman closely associated with Chang delivers a heartbreaking news to Mei during the night. Her mother has passed away in a Chinese hospital after a severe ailment. The following day, Han Zhao, the gang's leader, arrives in New York for the first time since assigning some duties to Mei. He presents Mei with a piece of paper, bearing a crucial and important series of digits in it, instructing her to memorize them. Mei got the task done in under seconds and stated the importance of the numbers. After that, Han burns the paper, making sure Mei is the only person accessible to this crucial information. Chang then transports Mei to the next location, telling her that she'll need to memorize a second series of numbers upon getting there. The plan went as they've anticipated until they face an unforeseen attack by the Russian mafia, led by Emil, the same gang responsible for Luke's wife's death. The Russian mafia are after Mei due to the number she has memorized, resulting to a wild shootout where the Chinese gangsters are overpowered, and Mei got abducted. Meanwhile, in another part of the city, Luke, attempting to make a purchase in a convenience store, he unexpectedly crosses path with a former colleague from his days back in the police force. Recognizing Luke immediately, the man guides him to an abandoned building where his corrupt colleagues await. In the past, them being corrupt cops, Luke exposed their illegal dealings with local gangs, which puts them in a lasting resentment. Despite receiving several punches and insults, Luke restrains from fighting back. One of the corrupt cops hands Luke a gun, urging him to end his own life. However, Luke refuses, choosing to walk away from the torment. At the same time, Mei has faced a high level of awkwardness as she's brought before the Russian gang leader, Emil, who demands information about the memorized numbers. Mei was shocked when she found out that the woman who told her about her mother's death was also working with Emil, betraying the Chinese gang. Pressured to reveal the code, Mei strategically exposes the woman's ignorance about underworld dynamics. Hearing this, Emil instantly shoots the woman dead, deeming her of no value. Mei remains silent about the numbers despite facing so much pressure. Amidst the tension, a corrupt cop and Luke's former colleague, Captain Wolf, arrives at the Russian hideout. However, their motive is far from responsible, as Captain Wolf acts on the orders of the Chinese gang leader, Han. Emil phones the captain, offering him with double the money, enticed by the Chinese gangsters to leave the hideout. After a few negotiations, the corrupt captain gives in to the allure of Emil's offer and withdraws from the area. May uses the opportunity to sneak out of the hideout unnoticed, eluding both the Russian and Chinese gangsters, each who are on a mission to get her before the other does. May makes her way to a subway station. Luke at that time was on the brink of ending his own life when he came into eye contact with a frightened little girl, just as he's about to leap of the rails. He notices the presence of the gangsters who killed his wife intensifies when they seize May. To avoid them, she gets into the subway, but they catch sight of her and gave a chase. Knowing that something is wrong, Luke determines to rescue the poor little girl. Clutching onto the subway, Luke challenges and defeats the Russian gangs, surprising them with his sudden confidence. However, May, mistaking him for one of the attackers, took to her heels amidst the crowd when the subway stops. With no setback, Luke sets out to find her. On his way out of the station, Luke eavesdrops a red alert code broadcast to all the cops, realizing that May is now not only wanted by the gangs but also the corrupt police officers. He notices the urgency of finding her before she falls into the hands of this underworld dealers, who seeks to exploit her further. Surprisingly, May and Luke path meets again amidst the chaotic and challenging scenery. In a crucial moment, two cops who had previously assaulted Luke attempts to apprehend May. Luke, arriving at a timely moment, quickly disable the officers, which reveals that his previous passivity was a deliberate action. Despite his gracious intervention, May still remained concerned about Luke, but with the arrival of the Russia mafia, she reluctantly gets into the car with him, leading to a very fatal chase through the bustling streets of Manhattan. Brings skilled fighter, Luke eliminates all the Russian gangs, and quickly takes May to a deluxe hotel. As they check in, May trust in Luke begins to develop. She discloses the information about the memorized numbers, revealing that they form a safe combination. Luke concludes that there are two safes, technically containing valuable items traded by the Chinese gang. At the same time, the corruption Captain Wolf learns that May have been accommodated by Luke, in shock of how Luke have kept distance away from criminal activities since leaving the police force. Back in the hotel, May trust in Luke starts to increase. Their good moment is interrupted when Chang tracks May's location using a device on her phone. Chang and his colleague storms the hotel, resulting to a reckless gunfire that sent everyone onlookers runs to safety. In an enraged mood, Luke engages in a very vigorous hand combat with the gangsters, resulting to a separation from May. Chang uses the opportunity to capture May, while Luke manages to escape from the place unharmed. After escaping to a safer place, Luke is still reflecting on the previous fight, refusing to give up on May. He finally came up with a brilliant but risky idea. He uses a stolen phone to contact Vasily, the son of the Russian mafia, Emil, who's the person responsible for his wife's death. Disguising as a member of their gang, Luke speaks with Vasily in a contorted voice, claiming he's in possession of the sought-after number. Vasily, believing the ploy, arranges a meeting at a casino to retrieve the said crucial numbers. Meanwhile, in a different scene, corrupt police Captain Wolf is summoned to the mayor's office for a debrief about the recent crisis in the city. It turned out that the mayor is also as corrupt as the police officers, as he discloses to Wolf Luke's past. Luke was a CIA agent lent to the police force post 9/11. During his days in the force, Luke and his former partner Alex organized the assassination of several crime gang leaders in an attempt to restore order. However, Luke leaked the corrupt activities of the captain and his team, leading to his resignation. Alex, on the other hand, remained in the force and manipulated the mayor to attain his current prestige. The captain, Wolf, now just realizes that the man he underestimated as a loser is now a formidable threat. Soon, news about May and Luke being together starts spreading across the city, and the mayor shows great signs of nervousness about it. The mayor knows that as long as May is with Luke, he would have now gained a lot of information regarding the crucial numbers and the safe combination. May, who's now back with the Chinese gang leader Han, carefully deceives him by claiming she pretends not to understand English, and she didn't reveal the safe combination to anyone. Chang phones Alex, letting him know that May is now with him so that they can continue their negotiations. It turns out that the Chinese mafia, accompanied by Alex and the city's mayor, are into corrupt businesses together. Both parties are engaged in trading the mysterious contents of the two safe combinations. At the same time, Luke arrives at the casino, defeating Vasily's bodyguards and took him hostage. Intending to use Vasily as a leverage, Luke calls Russian leader Emil, requesting information about the contents of the safe in exchange for his son's existence. Emil reveals that the safe held by the Chinese mafia contains $30 million, while the safe with the mayor estimated to be of about same amount. Chang meets with Alex to exchange the viral codes, setting a scenario for a high-stake trade. Realizing that time is running so fast, Luke plans on getting the $30 million from the Chinese gang before the trade happens. Aware about the inevitable security personnel's monitoring the safe one Chinatown, Luke seeks a former colleague for assistance, who only agrees because of the financial gains attached to the deal. The two form a good partnership as they storm into the Chinese territory, leading to shootout among the gangsters and other decoy men in uniform. Managing to reach the safe locker, Luke unexpectedly gunned down his fellow officers, killing the rest officers excluding the captain, Wolf, whom he takes hostage alongside Vasily. Luke then makes his way to the mayor office, after securing the funds in the locker safe. On his way, Luke phones Alex, making good use of the money he now possesses to gather data about the second safe. With no choice, Alex reveals that the second safe belongs to the mayor, and inside it is a disk containing data and records on every crime activists in New York. The mayor corrupt deviously plans include selling the valuable disk's data to the Chinese mafia, receiving a whopping 30 million fund, and sneaking out leaving the gangs to deal with the repercussions. However, the money have already been retrieved by Luke. Alex attempts rescue the situation by returning to meet Luke. Instructed by Luke to bring May along with him, Alex fights and eliminate Chang and his gang, arriving at the meeting place with the valuable asset, May. Luke uses the opportunity to barge into the mayor's office, challenging him for the contents of the second safe. The mayor reluctantly hands over the disk containing all the criminal records in the city to Luke. Luke, after proceeding to disable the mayor, rendering him unconscious, he finally fulfilled his promise, which is to meet Alex. Now having access to both the money and the valuable information, Luke emerges as a formidable card. At the same time, Alex have in his possession a vital leverage, which is May. The two exchanges some word battle for a while before Luke defies cooperation, as he proposed a resolution through a fight. As Alex is getting prepared for the fight, May subconsciously shoots him in the leg, giving a great chance for Luke to send him off effortlessly. Now that they're free, Luke and May are in full control of the money and the disc. Luke making May's safety a priority, Luke releases the captain, Wolf, compensating him with some funds for his involvement. Like also let go off Vasily to avoid retaliation by the Russian gang. Being thoughtful of the Chinese gang wanting to seek vengeance, Luke sends him the leftover funds to prevent any further pursuit of May. Days later, Luke strategically displaces several copies of the data disk throughout the city, creating a safety measure against potential future threats. The disk will serve as a great tool for blackmailing popular corrupt officials, if ever they try to threaten him. The movie comes to an end when May and Luke embarks on a journey to Seattle, hoping for a renewed beginning and leaving behind the dangers of the tempestuous past. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click on one of the videos on your screen now, to enjoy more content.